Have you ever wondered why, in a world filled with billions of people and endless communication, we sometimes feel a profound sense of spiritual silence? For millennia, humanity has looked to prophets, messengers who brought divine guidance, wisdom, and a connection to something greater than ourselves. But in our modern age, it seems the heavens have fallen quiet. This is the story of the last prophet and the silence of the world. From the dawn of civilization, prophets have been central figures in our collective story. Think of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Zoroaster, names that echo through history. They weren't just speakers, they were conduits. They translated the ineffable will of the divine into human language, offering moral codes, prophecies, and a sense of purpose that shaped entire civilizations. They provided a cosmic narrative, a story in which we all had a part to play. They answered the big questions. Where do we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? But then something shifted. With the passing of the last widely recognized prophets, a new era began. An era not defined by a new message, but by the absence of one. The direct line of communication, it seemed, was closed. The world didn't end. Instead, it just continued. This marked the beginning of what we can call the Great Silence. Why did this happen? One perspective is that the message was complete. The teachings delivered by the final prophets were considered comprehensive and timeless, a final testament intended to guide humanity for all subsequent ages. In this view, the silence isn't an abandonment but a graduation. We were given the tools, the texts, the traditions, and now it's up to us to interpret, apply, and live by them. The age of revelation gave way to the age of interpretation and reason. We were no longer students listening to a live lecture, but scholars with a complete library, tasked with finding the answers within the wisdom we already possess. Another powerful idea is that the silence is a test of faith. Without a constant stream of new miracles or messengers, belief becomes a more personal and profound choice. It's one thing to believe when a prophet is standing before you, parting a sea or healing the sick. It's another entirely to hold on to faith in a world that often feels random and devoid of overt divine intervention. This silence forces us to cultivate an inner connection, to find the divine not in a booming voice from the clouds, but in the quiet whisper of our own conscience, in the beauty of nature, and in the kindness we show to one another. But there's a more modern, secular perspective to consider as well. As science and rationalism flourished during the Enlightenment and beyond, our way of understanding the world changed dramatically. We began to seek empirical evidence and logical explanations for phenomena that were once attributed to the divine. The mystery that allowed for prophecy began to shrink. We learned about weather patterns, plate tectonics, and neurological chemistry. In a world explained by algorithms and physical laws, where is the space for a prophet? Perhaps the prophets didn't disappear. Perhaps our ability to hear them did, drowned out by the noise of our own explanations. This brings us to our current condition. We live in an age of unprecedented information, yet we often feel a deep spiritual emptiness. We have endless distractions, but a shortage of direction. The silence of the prophets has left a vacuum, and we have rushed to fill it with ideologies, consumerism, and the relentless pursuit of individual happiness. We've become our own prophets, shouting our own truths into the digital void. But these messages are often fleeting and contradictory, leaving us more fragmented than united. So how do we navigate this silent world? The challenge isn't to wait for a new prophet to arrive, but to learn how to listen differently. The wisdom of the past hasn't vanished. It lives in the sacred texts, in the philosophical traditions, and in the accumulated moral heritage of our ancestors. The task for modern humanity is one of rediscovery. It's about digging into these deep wells of knowledge and translating ancient truths into a language that speaks to our contemporary problems. It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary. The divine message may no longer be delivered by a single person, but perhaps it's now decentralized, woven into the fabric of existence itself. Maybe the next revelation isn't a text, but an act of collective compassion. Maybe the next miracle is humanity coming together to heal our planet and bridge our divides. The age of the lone prophet may be over, but the age of collective responsibility has just begun. The silence of the world isn't an ending, it's an invitation. It's a call for each of us to live with greater purpose, to seek wisdom, to practice kindness, and to become the living answers to the questions we've been asking for centuries. The prophets gave us the map. Now it's our journey to make. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration. If this video resonated with you, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the big questions of our time. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments below. How do you experience this spiritual silence in your own life? Until next time, take care and keep questioning. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the heavens fell silent? What if, after centuries of divine messages, revelations, and prophets guiding humanity, it all just stopped? This is the profound concept we're exploring today. The idea of the last prophet and the subsequent silence of the world. Imagine a world accustomed to receiving guidance from a divine source. Then one day, the final message is delivered. The last prophet completes their mission. After that, there's only silence. Humanity is left with the final set of instructions, a compass for its moral and spiritual journey, but with no new updates, no further clarifications directly from the source. It's like being given the ultimate user manual for life and then being told, "All right, you're on your own now. You have everything you need." This transition marks a monumental shift in human responsibility. Suddenly, the focus is no longer on waiting for the next revelation, but on understanding, preserving, and implementing the final one. The challenge becomes immense. How do we interpret these timeless teachings for an ever-changing world? How do we prevent the message from being distorted, diluted, or lost over generations? The responsibility to uphold the truth now rests entirely on our shoulders. This silence isn't a sign of abandonment. Instead, it can be seen as an expression of ultimate trust. It's a declaration that humanity has reached a stage of maturity where it's equipped to navigate its own destiny, guided by the final, complete message. It's a call to action, urging us to look inward, to reflect on the teachings we have, and to build a just and compassionate society based on that foundation. The silence of the world isn't an ending. It's the beginning of our greatest test. What do you think? Is this silence a burden or a blessing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this exploration fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the big questions of life. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.